R2 is part of the fraction. We have R2 in the numerator and in the denominator. In order to pull out R2 from the fraction, I have to eliminate the fraction. Copy this problem one more time. I have R1 times R2 over R1 plus R2. Okay, we have to multiply right side and left side by the denominator. So I have R1 plus R2, and I have R1 plus R2. Parentheses and parentheses will cancel out, and I'm going to have R1 plus R2 times RT equals R1 times R2. Now I have R2 on both sides of the equal sign, but one of them is inside of parentheses. In order to pull out this R2 from the parentheses, I have to eliminate the parentheses. How I can eliminate them? By distributing RT into the parentheses. If you are going to multiply RT by R1 and RT by R2, parentheses are going to disappear. So I'm going to have R1 times RT, R1 times RT, plus R2 times RT equals R1 times R2. Next, I'm going to collect all R2s on one side. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply, this time, going to move this R2, RT to the right side. Let's take a look how it's going to work. I'm going to have R1, RT equals R1 times R2 minus R2 RT. Okay? Now, let's copy down R1 RT is equal. Now I'm supposed to factorize R2 from these two terms. So I'm going to have R2. And I have R1 minus RT. Okay? I'm looking for R2 by itself, but R2 at this moment is multiplied to the parentheses. I do not want to see parentheses next to R2. That's why I'm going to use division in order to eliminate the multiplication, which is over here, okay? Divide both sides equation by whatever is next to R2. R1 minus RT. R1 minus RT. Parentheses are going to cancel out. And you will end up with R2 equals R1 RT over R1 minus RT. And this is the solution to my problem.